A former South Carolina police officer charged with killing an unarmed black man remains free on bond today. This after a judge declared a mistrial. Michael Slager was seen on cell phone video in 2015 shooting Walter Scott 5 times in the back. These are still images of the shooting. Now, the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict. Prosecutors say they do plan to retry Slager. And Mark Strassman is outside the county courthouse there in Charleston, South Carolina for us. And Mark, again, a mistrial here. What exactly happened?
Well, I mean, prosecutors thought, Josh, that videotape spoke for itself. They thought it was very compelling. But last Friday, a juror sent the judge a note saying that in good conscience, he or she could not consider a guilty verdict. And at that point, everybody knew that the specter of a mistrial was a possibility. Yesterday, a note from the jury said that a majority of them were undecided. That was unclear what that meant. Did that mean undecided between guilt and innocence, undecided between murder and manslaughter? They went back, resumed deliberations, and then mid-afternoon yesterday gave up, saying they were hopelessly deadlocked, and the judge at that point had no choice but to declare the mistrial, which was a disappointment for everybody.
Now, I know you spoke with Walter Scott's brother after the mistrial was called. He described his disappointment. With one juror, again, who refused to consider conviction, I want to play just a bit and get your thoughts on the other side.
I'm not angry with the juror, but I'm disappointed in the juror because he was sworn in and took an oath that he would make a decision. And I don't think that's what he did. With all those evidence so blatantly, displayed, there was no question that this officer was lying about what actually took place that day. And based on that, and there not being a struggle, why would you shoot a fleeing man in the back that's trying to get away from you? It didn't make any sense.
Not anger, but disappointment. Just how is the family handling all this, Mark?
Well, I mean, Josh, they knew, again, as of last Friday, that a mistrial was a possibility. There were a lot of them in court for mutual support. And something else to consider, this family, the Scotts, they're very much a family of faith. They talk about faith a lot. They feel as though they've been tested by this, but they're not broken by this. And they do believe that in the end, that they will get the justice they deserve.
And to that end, prosecutors have said they will retry Michael Slager, but there could be a delay. How come?
Well, it's a little complicated. The prosecutor, they call them solicitors here, Scarlett Wilson. In this case, she is also handling the prosecution of South Carolina's state case against Dylan Roof. You'll remember, he's the guy who massacred the churchgoers here in Charleston last year. She is also going to help with the federal portion against Dylan Roof. That trial begins on Wednesday, tomorrow. So there's a bit of a backlog here. She could be sidelined by the Roof case before she gets back to retrying the Slager case. So all this is a bit up in the air, but the bottom line is she's going to be busy, and the Scott family and Michael Slager are going to be in a bit of suspense, probably for months to come.
And they will be waiting again for that day in court again. Mark Strassman, we do appreciate it.
You bet.